So today we're going to talk about fear of failure. Such an interesting subject. Oh wow. The fear of failure that we all have. Or some of us don't. So the fear of failure is the subject of today. So I'm going to talk about it and explore it from an NLP perspective. So let me see who is here. Hi. Hi Naima. Hi Khadija. Hi. So before we start, I would love to know where you are located in the States. I'm located in Florida, in Miami City. Where are you located in the States? Which parts are you from the States? If you can write this in the comments, I'd love to know. I'm curious to know. Which part of the States you are. Hi. Hi, Naima. So I'm located in Florida. I would like to know, for those who are here, which part of the States you are. Hi. We have somebody from Virginia. Hello. Hi, Virginia. Who else? I'm living in Florida, in Miami. So who else is from the States? If you can send me in the comment which state you are. And today we're going to explore fear of failure. Who does not have that fear of failure? Oh my God. We all experience it. I'm sure many times in our lives. We have, who else? Let me see. Yeah, we have Florida. Hello. People from Florida. Nice to have you here. We have somebody else from Florida. Oh, that's nice. Who else? We have Virginia, Florida. I'm in Miami. Where are you? Where are you located in Florida? I'd like to know. So today we're going to explore the fear of failure from an NLP perspective. Okay? So I will just give it a couple of minutes more to have more people. Okay? So the fear of failure. I would like you to think about it, about situation that you had in your life and then you were stopped because you had this fear of failure. Okay, we have somebody from New York. Hello. Hi, people from New York. Anybody else from the States? Curious to know. Hello everyone. Hello, Yasin. Hello. Beth. Hello. Okay, so I'll just give it a couple of minutes and then I'll start. So, as I told you today, we're going to talk about fear of failure from an NLP perspective. Okay, so it's a recurring pattern that most of us have or all of us have. So we're going to talk about it from different perspective and from NLP perspective. And we have from Washington. Hey, hello. Somebody here from Washington. That's nice. Who else is from the States? Who else? If you can tell me, where are you? Where are you located? I'd like to know before we start. I'll just give it a couple of minutes and then I'll start. So today subject is the fear of failure. So we're going to explore the pattern of fear of failure from NLP perspective. It's a recurrent pattern that last time I asked, and most of you told me that you would like to talk about it. So this week I'm going to talk about fear of failure. Today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. 3 parts. So we have somebody from Texas. Hello, hello. How is Texas? Okay. If everyone is ready, I could start. So we're going to explore a pattern I'm sure that almost every one of you has, which is fear of failure. And I'm sure that you might have experienced it at least once in your life. Okay? So some of us may have overcome it, some may still be living with it. So it's a universal pattern. So fear of failure. Okay. Somebody wants me to, okay. I repeat it one more time. Okay. So today we're going to explore a pattern I'm sure almost everyone has experienced at least once in life. Some of us may have overcome it. Some may still be living with it. But it's universal. I'm talking about fear of failure. It's actually that moment when you hesitate, when you hold back, when your body tenses before taking action, because like deep down you're thinking, what if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if people judge me? So you have all those questions and many other questions that may arise at that particular moment. Okay? Hi, for those who has just joined, today I'm talking about fear of failure. So, of course, these thoughts feel real. Those questions feels real. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if people judge me? What if people laugh at me? And since they feel real, naturally you don't want to feel embarrassed. Like you don't want criticism. You don't want to be laughed at. And that's completely normal. But here is the twist. So behind this wall, the wall of fear of failure, we can see that behind it there is growth, there is progress, there is success, there is freedom like nothing else. So after you pass that wall, you will have success, you will have growth, you will have a high level of freedom. So here I would like you, all right. So for those who have just joined, today's topic is fear of failure. Hi everyone. So I would like to take you through an exercise that requires a tool that we all have, which is imagination. Hi everyone. So here I'm going to ask you if you would like to go through with me in this exercise. So we're going to utilize our imagination. So we're going to imagine something specific, very specific. So think about the things you would like to do, the things you would like to achieve, the skills you would like to learn. Generally, the things you want in your life. But that fear of failure has been stopping you from pursuing. Now imagine this. Imagine that the fear of failure does not exist. It's not there. So ask yourself here, what are the things you would go after? What would you allow yourself to try, to explore, to become? So we can do this together. You can keep your eyes open or you can keep them closed. Personally, I always prefer to close my eyes because it helps me go deeper into my inner world and imagination. So if you are comfortable, let's do it together, okay? So close your eyes for a moment and imagine that the pattern that I'm talking about today, which is the fear of failure, does not exist. You don't have it. It's not there. And now ask yourself, what is that thing that I would like to achieve in my life? And here I will give you a couple of minutes to think about it. And at your pace, whenever you have answers, I would be happy that you share them with me in the comments. Hey Maha, I think you have just joined. So let me tell you what we are doing here. So I just asked all of you here to close your eyes and get connected with yourself and imagine what are the things that you would like to achieve in your life if you don't have this pattern, if you don't have the fear of failure. What are the things that you would like to achieve in your life? It can be skills, it can be anything that you have in your mind, and the fear of failure is blocking it. Now imagine you don't have that pattern. And whoever got some insights, I would be happy that you share it with me. Try a small business. Okay. Thank you for your answer. Yes. Trying a small business can be a scary move. Yes. The fear of failure might block you because you have lots of thoughts. What if you have money, what if I lose my money? What if I want to be able to sell whatever you have, products or services? What if I don't have clients? So there are lots of fear there. So you are afraid to fail. You are afraid that your business won't succeed. So thank you very much for your answer. Anyone else would like to? Creator. Okay, so we have somebody who said creator. I think what you mean is to be a content creator. Yeah, a content creator also is It's not something easy to start with, and you may have all these fears that maybe people will not like me, maybe I would not be able to be disciplined or to be consistent. So all those fears are going on inside of you, and they're mostly attached to you are feeling to fail, you are feeling that you will not succeed. All right. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Let's see here if we have other responses. I'd like to see your imagination. How big is your imagination? Okay, we have Maha. Learn new language. Okay, yeah. At an adult age, you might find it challenging to learn new language. You have this feeling also of failure. Oh, how am I going to start learning a new language and starting from scratch? That's not an easy step. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Let's see somebody else. So we have English. I struggle to be English teacher. Yes. I really can understand you, because also it has kind of like it has behind it a fear of failure, because maybe you're afraid that you will not be able to perform or to be good at whatever you're doing as a teacher, mainly, as you said, or not to be able to maintain the group dynamic between the students, which is also a challenging thing. All right, thank you for your share. We have somebody else here. Aisha, study abroad. Oh yeah, studying abroad also tend to be challenging, and behind it there is the fear of failure. What if I was not be able to stay by myself and take care of myself and be able to rely on myself without my family? What if things happen to me? What if problems occur and I'm not able to handle them by myself? So there is like a fear. What if I went there and I did not, I was not a good student, or my level was not as high maybe as the other students? So that also has behind it this pattern, the fear of failure. So anyone else would like to share with me? Learn a manual trade. Yeah, exactly. That's also can be challenging. If you want to learn a new skill from the scratch as an adult, it requires lots of discipline and lots of persistence, and you also have this fear. What if I start learning and I fail and I'm not able to be how I want to be, or to reach to the skill I would like to have? Thank you, Naima, for your share. All right, anyone else? So for those who has just joined, we were going through an exercise which is, imagine you don't have something called fear of failure. What are the things that you would like to achieve? What are the things that you would like to have in your life? It can be skills, it can be anything from that sort. Something you want to learn, something you want to have. If you don't have that fear of failure, what would be that thing? If you're not afraid to fail, or maybe to be judged by people, or to make mistakes even, or maybe to be embarrassed in front of people, what is that thing that you would like to have in your life? So I'll just give it a couple of minutes. If nobody else responds, then I'll carry on with the material. All right. I have so many people join in. So for those who have just joined, the subject of today's life is fear of failure. All right? So now that we have opened the door to imagination and seen what's possible, all right, through that exercise that we have just went through, let's look at what's been stopping you moving forward, like the pattern underneath it, which is the fear of failure. So the hidden truth behind the fear of failure is that fear of failure is not helping you succeed. It is not helping you succeed. It's quietly holding you back, keeping you from taking action and convincing your nervous system that trying is dangerous. So it literally convinces your nervous system that trying is dangerous. I have experienced this deeply myself, not just an idea, but as a living pattern. So NLP didn't just help me manage it, it helped me change my nervous system's response, so fear no longer blocked my growth. Because fear of failure tends to block your growth, to block your success, and to block you from reaching your goals, definitely. So before I share my personal example with fear of failure, let me ask you this question. Hello, for those who have just joined. What is fear of failure? I would like to ask you, in your point of view, what is fear of failure? How does it, or what does fear of failure feel to you? What does it feel to you? And how does it show up in your decisions? And here there is no right or wrong answers. I'm open to read all your answers. I want to see your perspective when you hear this pattern, fear of failure. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? For those who ask, where are you? I am in Florida, Miami. Okay? So I will ask my question again for those who have just joined. What you personally think fear of failure is? What is fear of failure? I want to see your perspectives. Okay, so I just said my question. Let me repeat it one more time. What is fear of failure according to you? And as I just shared, there is no right or wrong answers. So we have Naima, she said often hesitating. Exactly. So you hesitate a lot. You hesitate a lot. Why you hesitate a lot? Because between you hesitating and taking the decision, there is this wall, as I explained it in the beginning. And this wall is the fear of failure. Because why you hesitate? You hesitate because you are about to take a decision or not to take a decision. So you are in this in this phase. So hesitation is between taking a decision or not taking a decision. Or it can be also two decisions and you have to decide which one of them. So when you are blocked here, it means that you are afraid to fail. It means that maybe if I took decision A, I will not be successful, or I will not get what I want to get. Or maybe if I took the other decision, maybe I will not get what I want to get. Maybe I will fail. Maybe I will be embarrassed. Maybe I will be judged. Maybe people will laugh at me. There is lots of maybes going on. So that's why you are hesitating, because you're afraid to fail. So thank you for sharing. Let me see if there is somebody else. It's just not to try again. I believe anyone has to retry until they succeed. This is the point. Exactly, Lucky. Thank you so much for your share. Exactly, you got it all right. So the main point is to succeed. And in order to succeed, you need to fail so many times in order to succeed. So to add to what Lucky said, so failure is, I would call it, is the process to success. In order for you to succeed, you need to fail so many times, and at the end you will succeed. And when you fail, you learn, and then you fail again, and then you learn. And it depends on each one. Okay? So I like the fact that you said it is just not to try again. So failure is just you are not trying again. You're afraid to try again. All right. So let's see if there is any other. To postpone the project. Yes. Exactly. You are postponing projects. So there is also hesitation here. Postponing, procrastination, hesitation, all of that because you are afraid that you might fail. There is this feeling of, oh my God, maybe I will not succeed. So you keep on postponing. Thank you, Khadija, for your share. Anyone else? Okay. I encourage you to continue work. Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. That's so nice of you. Okay. So anyone else? What is fear of failure according to you? And in a moment, I will give you the... Thank you, Lucky. That's so nice. In a moment, I will give you the explanation. Okay. For people who have just joined, today I'm exploring the fear of failure as a pattern. So what is the fear of failure according to you? People who have just joined, what is fear of failure according to you? Before I go ahead and give the definition, if anyone would like to share, what is fear of failure? Became the number 2. Okay. All right. Hello, Aladdin. Hello. Thank you for joining. All right. So I will define for you what is the fear of failure. So the fear of failure is not just being afraid to fail. So it's not laziness, okay? So it's not laziness. It's not you being afraid to fail. It's not lack of talent, all right? It's not lack of ambition. So fear of failure, from an NLP perspective, is the mind and the body trying to protect you, but in a way that limits you. So this is fear of failure from NLP perspective. So the mind and the body together, they're trying to protect you, but in a way that limits you. Both of them trying to protect you, but in a way that limits you. Okay? So it's the subconscious belief that any risk could be catastrophic. There is a subconscious belief in your mind which states that any risk could be catastrophic. So here it's not about logic. It's not about intelligence. It's your nervous system running a program. Avoid risk, stay safe. Let it sink a little bit. Because we always thought that fear of failure is linked to other things. But it is there to protect us. So the nervous system is trying to protect us from any risk that could be catastrophic. And therefore, it will limit us. This protection limits us. Okay? So, it's not about logic and it's not about intelligence. It's your nervous system running a program. And I'll repeat it one more time. Avoid risk, stay safe. If you avoid risk, you will stay safe. And this might show up every day in your life. Sometimes even more than you realize. Does anyone have a question till now? Okay, so I'll carry on. So, at its core, fear of failure is a pattern. So we have your body and your mind. Together they learned to protect you from imagined danger by holding you back from action. So they're trying to protect you from an imagined danger by holding you back from action. Remember earlier in the beginning, we did an exercise that requires imagination. But in that exercise, I asked you to imagine what are the scenarios or what are the things that you would like to achieve if fear of failure was not there. So here, the mind is doing extremely the opposite. It's trying to protect you from imagined danger and by holding you back from action. So let's think about this. Think about the mind and the body. So your body reacts before your mind does. Okay, so this my main problem. Always I decide to pause doing something I already started. Yeah, exactly. So this is exactly what happens. So your nervous system is trying to protect you from an imagined danger, a danger that does not exist. Okay? And talking about it, I would like you to let me know. How can we solve this issue? Okay, so I will go through it in a while, but I can give you a quick explanation. So what happened is our nervous system, okay? Our nervous system learned that I will not make a step because I am scared, because I will fail. And when did we learn this? We learn it in our childhood, from the age of, let's say, a baby till 6 years old. So you learn this. It's in your subconscious program. And as a human being, we, on our daily basis, we act from our subconscious, not from our conscious. So what you need here, you need to reprogram your subconscious mind. When you reprogram your subconscious mind, you won't have that fear in your nervous system. And you will act effortlessly. And this is what I do through my sessions, through coaching. So for anyone who would like to work on a pattern that you have, you can DM me. All right? So I work on patterns like fear of failure, procrastination, and all of that, because they are all stored in our subconscious. They are not things that we can change consciously. It's not by changing the behavior that you will have lasting transformation or lasting change. You need to go back to the subconscious and reprogram it. And I'm going I just wanted to answer your question because you asked, but I'm going through that in much more details. Okay, so if you stay with me, and by the way, for those who have just joined, the live is going to be 3 days successively. So today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow, and I will talk about the same pattern, which is fear of failure. So I go through it step by step. So for those who want to join, you can follow me. Just follow me here, and you will be able to see all my. Okay, thank you, Aladdin. You will be able to see all my lives. Okay, so let's carry on here. So we were in how the body and the mind, they are working together, trying to protect us. Okay, protect us from an imagined danger. So what happens here exactly is that your body reacts before your mind does. So if all of you would like to remember a situation where you want to do something and you have this fear inside of you, the fear of failure. So how it manifested in your body? It would manifest differently from each one of you, but I will just give you an example. Maybe you can feel like your chest tighten. Maybe there is a knot in your stomach. Maybe all your body is tense. Your energy contracts. For some people, your hands or feet may be sweating. So all of that manifested in your body. And they are like a subtle but clear internal alarms. And you feel them, or even your heart starts going extremely quickly. Oh my God, I know that feeling when you're scared. You know, your heart starts pumping like there is no tomorrow. So only after that physical activation does the mind step in, trying to make sense of the sensation. So when you have this sensation, your mind step in and it tries to understand what's going on here, what's going on with my body, why I'm feeling all that. And at this point, the question starts. What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if I make a mistake? What if they will laugh at me? All right? And at this particular point, you stop. So it starts with your body. There's this negative activation in your body. And then directly your mind starts asking questions, put in all imaginative negative scenarios, and then boom, you don't do anything. So here is the key here. All these thoughts or all these questions, they are not facts. They are interpretations, and they are negative interpretations. So I want you to know this. All those thoughts, all those questions, they're just scenarios, imaginative negative scenarios, interpretation that your mind is activating. Okay? So I'm talking to you, and in the meantime, check in comments. So does any one of you have a question? Would you like to ask about something? That's true. Exactly, Aisha. That's true. How about you, Maha? What do you think? Hi, Az. Hi. 100 true. Yeah, thank you, Maha. Okay. So does any one of you have question? It's good to know other languages. I would always call it this way. All right. So what's actually happening is this. So your nervous system has detected something it associates with danger. Okay? So it activates a protective response. So your nervous system had associated something with danger. So it activated a protective response. I have a question. Okay, go ahead. Whoever has a question, you can write it in the comments. I'm looking at the comments in the same time. Okay? So that activation is felt in the body first. So you feel it in the body first. Exactly how I explained to you earlier. It comes as tension, all right? Also, contraction, drop in energy. And the mind follows by creating stories. So it starts with the body, and then directly the mind follows by creating stories to justify that sensation. Why I'm having this sensation? So it creates these stories to justify the sensation. So let me emphasize on this point basically. So these stories are not about the present moment. So these stories that the mind starts having are not about the present moment. They are old programs. And those old programs are learned long ago, and often in childhood. So, in an environment where mistakes were met with judgment, criticism, or emotional consequences. So, you are afraid to do mistakes, you are afraid that you might be judged by others. So, those programs are learned long time ago. and mainly they are learned in your childhood. So fear of failure is not lack of confidence, and it's not laziness, and it's not a personality flaw. It's none of these. It's the body and the mind together, the body and the mind entering alert mode, trying to protect you from a threat that no longer exists. It's not there. It was there a long time back. But they still have this activation. And when this internal alert is activated, one thing almost always happens, which I shared with you earlier, which is action stops. So it starts with the body. You feel all those negative sensations, I would call them. Then the mind gets activated, either by asking negative questions or by making negative scenarios, imaginative scenarios. Therefore, action stops. Okay? So if any one of you has a question, the impact is hard, yes. The impact is hard, which is you feel stuck. You are not able to move forward. You are not able to take even the first step. Let's just put it that way. You're stuck. So I went through it step by step to explain to you what is going on. What is going on? Why you could not do the first step, which is action. Because sometimes we tend to focus on the action and we don't focus on what's going on behind, what's going on in behind, what I mean by behind, what's going on in our minds, in our body. So this is exactly what's going on. Okay. We must accept that we can make mistakes. Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing this, Naima. Yes. It's very important, the acceptance of making mistakes. Because if we don't accept ourselves, or if we don't accept the fact that we can do mistakes, we will not be able to be successful in some things. Because in order to be successful in anything in life, of course we're going to do mistakes. And at the end, we will be able to achieve what we want to achieve. So making mistakes is part of the process. Thank you, Maha. Failure is not the opposite of success, right? Exactly, you got it all right. So failure is not the opposite of success. So failure is stepping stones to success. So success is here, and in order to reach success, you need to step on the stones of failure. So we call it, it's like, it's an expression, but it's like stepping stones to success. It's part of success. Exactly, Maha. If we don't fail so many times, we will not be able to succeed. If we don't try and make mistakes, like Naima shared, we will not be able to succeed. We will not be able to reach our goals. We will not be able to learn the language that we want, to learn the skills that we want, to open the company that we want, to take the position at work that we want, to, let's say, to travel abroad and study, as Aisha said earlier. Okay. So, is there anything else that you would like to ask me about before I carry on? So I'll be happy to answer your questions. For those who has just joined, today I'm exploring fear of failure from an NLP perspective. So fear of failure. And I will have tomorrow and after tomorrow, I will talk about the same pattern, but I will carry on. So today we have the part 1, tomorrow part 2, and after tomorrow part 3. So if you are interested, you can follow me here and you can ask any questions about the subject. I'll be happy to answer. And of course, you can join tomorrow and after tomorrow too. Okay. Hello for people who have just joined. Le pain, salut. Okay. All right. So, yes, I do speak French. So thank you for joining. For those who have just joined. So I'm talking about fear of failure. So if you have any questions about it, so fear of failure, as I was explaining earlier, so you don't take the first step, you hesitate. Florida. Yes. You don't take the first step, you hesitate. So you hold back, not because you cannot move forward, but because your system believes it's not safe to try. So why you hold back? You hold back not because you can't move forward. It's because your system believes it's not safe to try. Your nervous system believes that there is danger there, that there is a catastrophe there. Okay? So this is exactly where NLP works. Not by forcing actions, but by retraining the nervous system. So it no longer needs fear as protection. So we will not need fear as protection, because what I've been explaining to you is that fear. What do you have to discuss today? So today I'm talking about fear of failure from NLP perspective. So if you have any question, I'm happy to answer it. And for those who have just joined, I will carry on tomorrow and after tomorrow, same time, which is 5 ET, Florida time, Eastern time. The same subject, but I will carry on. Okay? So what I mentioned here is that NLP works not by forcing action, but by retraining the nervous system. So it no longer needs fear as protection. Because fear, when it comes to fear of failure, it was there to protect you from an imaginary danger. And that's mainly tied to past events that happen in your childhood. So basically, your subconscious have this pattern, and in order in order to dissolve this pattern, we need to work on reprogramming the subconscious mind. So I'll go through that tomorrow and after tomorrow in extreme details. So today, mainly, I talked about fear of failure. What is it? What are the roots of it? And I will tackle the roots of it much more in details tomorrow. But what I talked about mainly is what happened. What happened when it comes to our mind and body, when we are having this feeling. Why we stop, why we don't do the first step, why we feel paralyzed or stuck. And I will repeat it one more time. Your body feels negative sensations. And when your body feels negative sensations, like feeling tensed, you feel like an activation in your body. And when you feel all those negative sensations, the mind starts thinking and having negative thoughts. Oh my God, if I do this, they will judge me. Oh my God, if I start something new, maybe I will fail, maybe people will laugh at me. So the mind and the body works together in a way to protect you from imagined danger, a danger that does not exist. And when they protect you, what happens? You got stuck. You don't do the first step. You are inactive. So I'm happy to answer your questions if any one of you have any question before I will end the live. And don't forget to follow, as tomorrow I will carry on talking about it. And for those who have any questions or would like to get coached, I'll be happy to have your DMs, so you can DM me. And today I talked about fear of failure and any pattern, any type of pattern, you can literally work on it and dissolve it by reprogramming the subconscious mind. Okay. I know most of the time I was really focused on the comments, but happy to read your comments if anyone have a question. Any one of you have a question? Okay. So thank you so much for all of you who were here from the beginning to the end. Thank you, Maha. Thank you, DR, English Absolute One. Thank you, that's so sweet. DR from UK, I think. Thank you, Naima. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. So then I'll see you tomorrow, DR. Doctor, maybe? So tomorrow, 5 ET, Florida time, I will carry on the same subject, which is fear of failure from an NLP perspective. And tomorrow I'll share with you my personal story in regards to fear of failure. Okay? So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and see you tomorrow.